All right, welcome back to another video for Diamond Dynasty. This is a new career mode baseball game for the tabletop. And in this video, we're going to go through the off season of season 2. So we can look at our final standings and the games. So you can see here that the championship was won by Crestline. They defeated Mariners Bay by a score of 4-3 in the final game. Crestline, good pitching as they held Mariners Bay to 3 runs when their normal is 4. So these were the two teams we sort of pegged before the season that they were probably going to be vying for the championship, and they were. Crestline finished at 5-1, Mariners Bay at 4-2. So let's go ahead. We'll just kind of start filling out our season yearbook. I like to do that first because then we have sort of wins and losses and all those things all in place. So I sort of go this way like this. So standings, financials, Hall of Fame, future stars. That tends to be sort of the order that I do things. So our final standings, it's going to be Crestline here. And this is season 2, by the way. So 5-1. Crestline, I like to just denote that they did win a championship, or you could do a little cup like that. Like a little championship trophy. Something like that. It's a terrible championship trophy, but you could have one of those. Next up is Mariners Bay. And they finished at 4-2. Next up is going to be Rockview. So it's a real have and have not. They are 1-5. And then Meadowview pulled up the rear. And they were 0-5. So rough year for the bottom 2 teams. And that is our standing. So we can put that away for the moment. And what we need next is our teams. So they're here. Put that away just for the moment. And then we have all of our team sheets here. So let's go through their team financials. And we'll just get this one going with the championship. Crestline Saints, we've already applied their championship bonus. If you win, you get $3. If you come in second place as a runner-up, you lose the championship game, you get $1, which you'll see on the Mariners Bay financial wrap-up as well. So not playing with these owners. Team upgrades, we didn't do any team upgrades. We have a star bonus, $2 per player, not $2 per star, but per player, 1, 2, 3, 4 players. So that's $8 total. Stadium revenue is something that we have to look at. Let's see, where did I have that? I have that somewhere. I always kind of forget on stadium revenue, but we have it here. So stadium, everybody still has a small one. No one's upgraded yet. So it costs $2 for the season, and then $8 per home win. So we got to tally up our home wins. So for Crestline, that's 1, 2. So they won 2 of their 3 home games. Every team has 3 home games. So 2 is 8 times 2 is 16. So that's their stadium revenue. And then concessions revenue is $2 per home game. So that's going to be sort of an even $6 for everyone. Their team wins are 5. And their gate revenue is $8 per win. That's $40. And so their total income is 40 plus 14 is 54. 64, 70, 73, $77. as they carried over a $4 gain from the previous season. When we look at our losses carried over, it says going to be 0. No upgrade costs. Whenever you do an upgrade, they sometimes will cost. They'll have a cost associated with it. So you can see here, if you do let's say you build the training facility, it'll cost you $4, but each season you get a +1 development role for 2 players. So that cost carries over. If it's a permanent upgrade, that cost carries over, and the more you have, the more your costs kind of build up, but they also build your team. So they build your team without having to spend money. So that's kind of a strategic thing. You can either spend money and have no extra costs, or you can spend money and then not have extra costs as far as your team salary is concerned. So stadium costs, like I said, it's going to be a flat $2. Same thing for the concessions. Team player salaries, 21 is what we have. Minor league salaries, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7. They have a pretty loaded minor league system here. They have a couple of guys. They have one that's going to age out probably, and then these guys are, they have potential to become really good players after the first year. So total expenses, 21, so 28, 30, $32 is their total. 77 minus 32, what is that, 45? So they come out smelling like roses, as they have a net income of $45 at the end. So good on Crestline. Next up is, the Rockview Renegades. Now they carried over $14 from the previous season. They're not doing any of these. Championship bonus, that's nothing. And star players, they only have 2 star players, so they're going to get $4 for that. Stadium revenue is $8 per home win. Let's see, Rockview. That's 2 home losses. So they lost every game at home. They get $0 for the stadium revenue. And then the concessions revenue will be a $6. $6. Their wins are 1, so they will get $8. And their total income is 18 plus 14 is $28, $32. So that $14 cushion came in handy, as they really took it on the chin in this season. You can see their skill is only at 23. Their previous skill, for Rockview. And that's what I like about this. You can kind of see how they change over time. So they went from 29 on their skill and 34 on their contracts, their payroll, and a 4.2 age. 5 is as high as you can go. So they are really in a rebuilding year. So you can see down to $18 for their salaries, 23 for their skill, and just 2.3. So their age cut in half, and definitely have lost a lot of star power. So they are in rebuild mode. They have a couple of guys here who could turn out to be really great. This guy here has a chance to be something really special. And then they have Victor De La Fuente, who is a future star. So they're sort of reloading and rebuilding, and I expect them to do better in year 3 and 4. Losses from the previous season, there were none. No upgrade costs. The stadium costs, same thing. Flat rate at this point for stadium and concessions. And then their player salary is only 18. So they may actually come out, because they have sort of torn everything down and are rebuilding. They may actually come out with more gains into the next year, even though they had a poor season. So we have 18, 20, $22. Oh, their minor league salaries. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So 26, 28, $30. And that gives them a net of plus $2. So pretty good job by Rockview to reload and also come out ahead. All right, Meadowview. Meadowview comes in with a $30 loss from the previous year, and that's only, I'm afraid, going to get worse. So they have none of these things. Championship bonus, there's none. Star bonus, they have 2. So $4. Stadium revenue. We'll have to see if they won any. Oh, they didn't win any games. So that's going to be $0. And then concessions, they get 6. So 0 team wins, $0 in revenue, gate revenue, and 10 is their overall. They're already starting in a $30 hole. Stadium costs are 2. Salaries are 19. And then the minor league salaries 1, 2, 3, plus 4 is 7. So 9 plus 19 is 28, 30. Plus, that's actually 60. So their total expenses are 60 minus 10. They're even farther in the hole. So they are at negative 50 in the hole. Oh, gosh. So I've considered a rule like if you have 3 seasons that finish in the hole, that you have to sell the team. So if you're playing with the owners or the team folds and then you spin up a new team. So that's something I really consider. Maybe I'll do that if that happens again in season 3. I don't know what they have to do. They have to change things around in a huge way to erase a $50 deficit. So it can be done, but they're going to have to win all their games. They're going to have a totally low salary. I mean, it's going to have to be really threading a needle. And then Mariners Bay, you can see here, Mariners Bay, very young, very good, and a low salary. And they've got Clark Vaughn. We'll see if we can find a spot for Vaughn. He's being blocked here by Mason Freeman, one of the Freeman twins, or Freeman brothers, and he's just it might be a tough spot for him. So we'll see. We may have to just try to change his position, but not really a place to go with him. So we'll see. Maybe we can change him into a catcher. So, all right. Goal rewards, no owner. Okay. So championship bonus of $1. Star players, they have 1, 2, 3, 4. Stadium revenue. This is home wins. So we're looking at Mariners Bay. They start their home wins down here. So they lose there. They win 1. They only won 1 home game, so Road Warriors there, Mariners Bay. So that will be stadium revenue of 8. Concessions are 6. Team wins, they have 4. So I believe they were 4 and 2. So 4 times 8, 32. And then we have 32 plus 8 is 40, 46. And then 46 plus 9 is 55. Yeah, 46 plus 9 is 55. And then we have plus 30, so 85 is going to be their net income. Remember, they carried over $30 there. Losses, none. None of these. Stadium costs are just $2. Team player salaries, $23. Minor league salaries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not carrying any big time players into the minor league system, just the one guy. $28, $30, $32. So simple math, $53. So they continue to roll. And they are probably just about ready for some upgrades. You can see here that they could upgrade to the medium stadium if they felt comfortable with that. They're going to get more per home win, which they seem to have a hard time with home wins, but they would get more per home win. They could also upgrade their concession costs. That would be a little bit less, but you would get $4 per home game, so they would be making $8 instead of $6, and they would be paying out $5 as a flat rate. So over time, that builds up, but it's kind of not, the cost is $4. I'm sorry. The cost is $4, and you're going to get $4 per home win, or per home game. So it's the same margin. You just wind up getting a bigger payout. So, all right. Yeah. So that is Mariners Bay. So all of our financials are done. So let's go ahead and, well, even when you're not rolling dice, you can still drop them. Let's go ahead and add these financials into our season yearbook. So for Crestline, it's going to be $45. And I like to add this in just to kind of see how the teams do financially. This season yearbook gives you a little bit of a snapshot. Rockview. Squeak over the line at $2. So they've had 2 positive years, even though they haven't had 2 great years. Meadowview, really bringing up the rear. $50 loss, which followed a $30 loss. So, and then Mariners Bay. And they have a $53 gain. So Crestline and Mariners Bay have really separated themselves. They're a bad year from falling back into losing all their money. Yes. Trying to keep the yearly stats kind of all to the yearly pieces of paper all together. All right. So the next thing we need to do is to check out our retirements. That's pretty easy to do as you go through. Basically, we are looking for any age 5 players. You can see here, Crestline, a very young team. We have one here. Actually, let's do it all the way for each team. So there are no 5 age players, but we have 2 4-aged players. And when we look here on our off-season chart, we can see player retirement. This is for you have to roll for retirement, right? On the aging. So you retire immediately on a 1 or 2. You return for 1 more year on a roll of 3 through 6. So we'll look at the red die. We'll roll 2, but we'll look at the red die. So 1 or 2. Owen Johnson is going to retire. So, and Alex Talbot will come back for another year. So that's their 2 players. So they're going to be looking for a first baseman. They have one down here. We'll see if he progresses at all, and they might need to flip someone into a new position. Let's see. Here we have 1 retiree, and then we have 1 potential. So Omar Alcaraz, he is going to come back for 1 more year. They do have a young catcher here, so we'll see if he comes into play based on his player development. We have 1 retiree. That was planned. They picked up Zach Maddox just because they are going to be losing. They need to open a spot for a potential starting pitcher here in Santiago. That really is the only player they have. So Meadowview looking to get better. And then we have 2 potential retirees here. So Clark Rios, who is a 4-skilled catcher, will retire and call it quits after a long and distinguished career. And then the other is Chris Freeman. So one of the 2 Freeman brothers. he is going to remain. At worst, you're probably going to wind up with a 4-star player there, or a 4-skill player there. So still would count as a star. And that is your retirements. So did anyone retire 5 years and 2 stars? Looks like no Hall of Famers this time. We had 1 Hall of Famer previous season. Okay, and have my sheet. Did I put it over here? Season yearbook. Okay, so with the season yearbook, we had no Hall of Famers, and I believe we have one future star. Let's just double check. As we walk through here, we're looking for 3 skilled minor leaguers. That's Victor De La Fuente with Rockview. Sometimes you wind up with more future stars. But he is the one. We have Clark Vaughn here, who definitely, he's got a star here. So he is definitely a star in the making, but he is already age 2. So future stars are players with the skill level of 3, and they are a rookie. So, all right. And so that ends season 2. No Hall of Famers this season. Victor De La Fuente is our single future star. Crestline, $45 they'll carry into the next season. Rockview +2. Meadowview takes a $50 loss into the next season. And Mariners Bay will take a $53 gain. So even though Mariners Bay has, they've been in the finals twice, they've lost twice. They lost once to, I believe it was to Rockview, and they lost once to Crestline now. They are still a well-run organization who are doing things right, and that is where they stand. All right, so we move into the next phase, and I went ahead and just kind of created this. You can see here it's just 2 of basically this part here. So I just made a 4 up of those, and it mirrors what I did. If you watched a previous off-season video, it mirrors what I did in that off-season. And what I need to do here is I need to roll for the player development. So we still need these sheets here, and I'll probably keep them off to the side here. But what we're going to do is we're going to roll to see if these players develop at all, and how they develop. Do they get better or worse? What happens there? And the way that we do that is we use this sheet. So if you're playing with off-season events, we would have already done that. Those are like big sort of large-scale shifts. I actually changed this. So I need to print a new one, but there's one that said ownership change. So if you're playing with owners, which you can, and you see the different owners, the team owners here, and what the budget they give you, and then the cost of upgrades. What was I thinking with upgrades? Maybe that's a budget for upgrades. And then they have end of season goals here. So I think it's a budget. It's your budget for your salary and your upgrades. And then you have because some teams, this guy here, he loves fan engagement and home wins. So whatever you're doing with upgrades should be in that sort of leaning toward that. So a stadium upgrade, for instance, so you get a +1 to all home rolls. And then at the end of the year, if you hit these bonuses, whatever bonuses that they have here. So positive net profit and at least 3 wins. 4+ players age 1 to 2 season's end. So this guy's super budget conscious, and you're going to have to focus on rookies and development. And then you get a bonus for having 3+ star players during the season. So he really likes to be stars focused, and he invests heavily in upgrades. You can see he has the most upgrades and the highest budget. So kind of a big spender. Likes clutch bonuses and playoff pushes. So if you reach the championship game, you get an extra bonus, but he kind of handcuffs you a little bit by not giving you a lot of money. So each of those is different. Basically, you roll 1 to 6, and then you assign an owner to a team. So that's how owners work. So if there's an ownership change, you would literally just have to roll a d6, see if there's an ownership change. If it's the same kind of owner, then it's just a new ownership group, but with the same sort of restrictions. So in our player development phase, we're here. So we did retirements. We're doing player development. We're going to go through, and whatever the player's age is, which you see here, you can see their age. Then we look at their age, and our first one is Jordan Harper. He is a veteran in this season. So that means he's going to have a -1 to his development roll. Now the development roll is here. So you're going to roll 1d6, and let's just do that. So right now he is a 6 skill player, age 3. We're going to make a -1 to the development roll, which is going to be this red one. So that becomes a 5, and you can see a 5 as a growth spurt. So +2 to his skills. So Jordan Harper, even though he is sort of a veteran in the middle of his career, has a nice little roll, and that's going to make him a skill 8. So let's just do this with Crestline. This is going to be my sheet for how we sort of keep track of everything, where are the holes in the team. We're going to list all of our newly upgraded players here, move them around. Okay, this guy's going to go here. We need to roll for changing his position. Where are our holes going to be for free agents, or do we want to fill those with rookies, etc., etc. So Jordan Harper. He'll be an 8 skill. His age goes up 1 year. He's in the 2nd year of his contract. So his contract is going to be, well, he's going to be 2 stars. So still a 2-star player, but he's actually gotten better. Aging like fine wine is Jordan Harper. His 8 is +2, so his new contract, as he gets better at just the right time, his new contract is going to be $10, and he is a super duper star. He's almost guaranteed at this point to be a Hall of Famer, unless he just totally drops off the map. Owen Johnson, the first baseman, is going to be out, so he is not he is retired. Alex Talbot is the second baseman. He is skill level or age 4, which means it's a -2 to the development roll. So 6 becomes 4. 4 is going to be slight growth. So Alex Talbot goes up to a 4. He will become, this will be his last year. Remember, he rolled to see if he would retire or not. He'll pick up a new contract. He gets 1 star, so that's going to be 5 stars. And he's in year number 1 of his contract, which that's all he'll get. So Zach Johnson is the third baseman. He right now is a 5 skill player. He's in year number 2. Year number 2, you're in your prime. There's no modifier to the roll, so a 2 is going to be no change. So he does not make any growth. 5, he'll go to year 3. He is going to get a new contract, as he is a 2-star player. That will be a $7 contract. So you can see that their payroll is going to go up quite a bit. So the last year they had 30 skill for $21. This year they're going to have to pay the piper for all that. So Max Maddox, second-year player. At shortstop, he's a 4, so there's no change to that. A 4 is going to be a +1 to his growth. He becomes a 3 in year 3. And he will be on a fresh contract for $3. Next up, Hunter Clark, young left fielder. He currently is a 4 skill. Oh boy, wow. He's a second-year player, so that's going to be a 6. A 6 is +3 as Hunter Clark. Wow. And again, at just the right time, so he's going to get paid as he goes into sort of the back half of his career. So he'll be a 2-star player, and that's going to be worth $9. So Hunter Clark coming up huge. Andre Winters. I've tinkered around with trying to create a little thing where you can have stats for these different players. I'm also thinking about these as WAR. Maybe that will help. Talking about them as WAR. Andre Winters is another second-year player, so this 5 is what it is. 5 is a +2, so a growth spurt for Andre Winters. He becomes a 6 in year 3. And they are just simply loaded. He will be in the first year of a contract, and that'll cost $8. So they're kind of in you have to win mode. Next up is Felipe Carvajal. Felipe Carvajal was a first-year player, a 1. Gets a +1 if he's a first-year player. So you get a +1 to the development role for rookies. That'll be a 2. 2 is no change. So he will be 1 skill level in year 2. And that's only going to cost them $1. And last is Rolando Verduzco. So they're really hoping Rolando can take a step forward. He is a 2 skill player. He's a rookie, so he'll get a +1 to the development role. 2 becomes 3. And slight growth, he goes from a 2 to a 3. So it is helpful. He'll be on the second year of a $2 contract. So that's our top level players here. Now let's go through the minor leagues. Blaine Hayes is a second-year minor leaguer. His skill level is a 1, but we rolled a 4. So that's actually going to be some growth. He'll go to a 2. He'll be age 3. If we don't bring him up to the major leagues, then he is going to be cut loose. So he'll have a $2 contract for his first year. Next, David Lugo. Good roll. David Lugo was skill level 1. He's a first baseman. 4, because he's a rookie, he gets a +1, so that's a 5. That's going to be a +2, so he goes to 3 in his second year. And they'll have him for $1. So that looks like a perfect slot in situation there. So Norman Williamson. Williamson is a 2 skill player in his first year. 5 becomes 6, and a breakout season for Williamson as he goes up to a 5 in year 2. They have him for just $2. So that could be an opportunity to bring up a young shortstop. Mike Maddox is a 3, but already he outpaces Maddox, so he's a candidate to be cut and released out into the free agent pool because you get him for less money and you get a bigger skill. So these are the kind of sort of personnel decisions that you have to make, how you want to handle that. If we keep him around, you can do that, keep him around for one more year. And if you don't bring him up the next season, you're sort of in this position here where you got to cut him loose. But you have a 5-skill player there, just kind of waiting in the wings. Rufino Mascarenas. Mascarenas is a 2-skill player. He is also a rookie. 6 becomes 7. That doesn't matter. He's going to be a +3 as well. So really good development here in their farm system. And it will be, they'll have him for $2. So again, these are both 5-skill players, so they're going to get 2 stars. So that's kind of what you have in the minor leagues here. And then we have another shortstop, Curtis Black. He is a 1-skill player. 3 becomes 4, so that's a little bit of growth. 2, 2. He costs just $1, and he's in the 2nd year. So that is Crestline. And I'm just going to go through here. So if you want to skip through to the good, juicy parts, you can. But this is what it is. This is a good chunk of the off season. So, and as you're going through, maybe you're like formulating, okay, here's a guy that can fit in here or there or whatever. So we have Omar Alcaraz. He is a 2-skill player, but he's in his final year now. So a 6. If you're in your aging, that's a -2, so that becomes a 4. So he actually gains a little bit. And he will be on year 2 of a $2 contract. So Alcaraz, Cornelio Granados. He is a young first baseman. So he's a rookie. So this 2 becomes a 3. 3 is a +1, so he gets 2-star status. And he will cost $3. So another upgrade there. Alex Blanchard is a star now. Blanchard is a 4-skill player in his 2nd year. So this 4 is a true 4, and that'll be a +1. So he becomes a 5. He'll move to his 3rd year. He's on a $1 contract right now, so they were getting a good deal, but now he's going to cost $7. And that'll be the 1st year of his contract. But they're getting a 5-star player. Next is Nolan Foster, 3rd baseman. And Foster is in his 2nd year. A 2 is no change, so he'll remain a 3 going into his 3rd year. Won't cost him too much. $3 contract. It'll be in the 1st year of that contract. Malik Fields. Fields is a 2-skill player in his 2nd year. Oh, look at that. So he goes from a 2 to a 5. Pow. And he'll be moving into his 3rd year. He'll cost them, but they'll be getting a 2-star player at shortstop. He'll be in the 1st year of a $7 contract. So folks getting paid in Rockview. Their salary was only 18, but their skill level was only 23. Their skill level is going to be significantly improved at this point. Amir Crane. The dice have been good to them so far. He's a 3-skill player. Actually, he is retired. Sorry. So I should work through him. Andre Cooper. He is a 4-skill player in his 3rd year, so that means we're going to have to take 1 off of his development roll. So 4 becomes 3. He still has slight growth and gains 1 skill point, so he becomes a 5-star player. And Cooper goes to his 4th year. He was in the 2nd year of his contract, so he's going to go up to 7 as well. And Rene Palomo. And he is a rookie. That'll become a 2. 2 is no change. And they'll just be paying him $1 in the 2nd year of his contract. And Zach Hansen, the pitcher. They're really hoping for big gains from Zachary. Pitching is so key in this game. He's a rookie. 2 becomes 3, so a little bit of a gain, modest gains. He goes 2. They're getting him for just $1, and he'll be in the 2nd year of his contract. So Hunter Delgado, a rookie. I'm sorry, he's a 2nd-year player. 3 is going to be a little bit of growth, so he goes to a 2, and he'll be in year 3, and he will cost them $2. Space. So if these 3 aged players don't get pulled up into the major league team, they will have to be cut loose and replaced. So this is Chris Vaughn. So you hope that these older minor leaguers can make some progress, but not guaranteed. Chris Vaughn is a 2nd-year player as well. He'll actually gain 2, so it's going to be a 3 in year 3. And they have him now on a $3 contract if they want him. They have a pretty good first baseman, so there's not really a need for him there. Victor De La Fuente, this is our only future star. So let's see how De La Fuente did. He's 3 skill in his 1st year. A 6. He becomes a 6 in just his 2nd year of playing. And they'll get him for $3 at least for 1 more year. So big time prospect there, Victor De La Fuente. Maximino Laureano. Laureano, a rookie. 2 becomes 3. And that becomes a little bit of growth. They get him for $1 in his 2nd year. And Fernando Zamora is a center fielder. He is a 2-skill player in his 1st year. So, big time. So that becomes a 6. That's going to bump him up to a 5. Wow. And they already have a big time player here, but they're needing an outfield position. So he seems like a great candidate for a positional move. And they're going to get him for $2. 2nd year of his contract. And they got a couple of big-time players there in the minor leagues, so Rockview might be making a move here. All right, let's go to Meadowview. We already did Crestline. Get this moved up here. Sorry, probably feels like you're leaning back or something. Meadowview. All right, Meadowview, they have 1 retirement. That's their starting pitcher. So we're looking at Brandon Mitchell. Mitchell is a rookie catcher. 2 becomes no change. And he'll be age 2. They get him for just $1. And we'll see if that's a position we want to upgrade. Maxwell. Rose. Another rookie. Oh, 6. Big time. So Rose is going to get a +3 to his development. So he becomes a 4, instantly a star. So big time player now that they're going to get for just $1 as he is on the back half of his initial contract. So Rose gives them a star player that they did not have before. Elijah Brooks. And Elijah Brooks is a 2 skill player in his second year. 3 is going to be a little bit of growth, so he becomes a 3. And he will get paid $3. So Nolan Glass, this is their 1 superstar. Glass is an 8 skill player in his third year, so we're going to have a -1 as he's moving from veteran to aging status. That becomes a 2, so he remains the same going into year 4. He is going to get a new contract, so he'll get paid for his time and talents, and he'll be $10 in the first year of his contract. Theo Simmons. Is in his second year. He's a 3 skill player. Will he progress? He will progress as he gets a 6. So because he's in the second year, there's no modifier to this role. So that's just a straight up +3, and he's going to become a 6 skill player. And he does it at just the right time. He's going to get paid. But that's another 2-star player for them. Mason Barnes. Barnes is a 3 skill player in his second year, so he does not progress at all, and he will get a new contract. So he gets paid, but no progression. Jordan Daniels. And Daniels is a 3 skill player in his second year. 4 is going to be a modest gain. So Daniels becomes a 4 in his third year, gives him a star, and he will be getting a new contract. So $5 in the first year of his contract. Zach Cruz was also a 1-star player. He's a skill level 4 in year 2. He'll move up to a 5. So 2 stars in year 3. As the team is getting progressively better, he's going to get paid as well. And then we have an opening here for the starting pitcher. In our minor leagues, Clark Hayes. Skill level 1 in his second year, and he is not going to get any better. So a 1 is actually a regression, although you can't get worse than that. So he is probably going to be a candidate to get cut. Next is Jordan Santiago, starting pitcher. This was a guy that they're hoping that they can bring up. Santiago in his second year as well, he gets a 4. 4 is going to be a +1, so they'll have to make a decision there. He'll be good for $2 in the first year of a contract. Scott Simmons. Simmons is a 2 skill player in his first year, and he's going to make a big leap as he goes to a 5. And still getting paid just $2. So in the second year of his contract, he is a 2-star player. Next is Jose Manuel Barreto. Pareto, a 1 skill player in his first season. 4 becomes a 5, and that's a +2 gain. So he'll be a 3. Going into year number 2, getting paid just $1. And the final, Zach Edwards. He is a 2 skill player in his first season. 4 becomes a 5. He also goes to a 3. Will be available in a second season for just $1. So that is Meadowview. You can see there. Meadowview taking quite a step forward there. They're really up there with Crestline at this point, and may have even overtaken Rockview. So Meadowview, things looking up for the future of the Meadowview Vipers, who they went, what were they? 0-5? Yeah. Okay, and the final team is going to be Mariners Bay. The Thunderhawks have a catcher who retired, so Clark Rios retired. Malik Thompson, young first baseman, youngish. Thompson is a 4 skill player in his second year. Oh, goodness gracious. He moves up to a 6. And he is going to get paid. So he'll have an $8 contract in his first season. And that's Malik Thompson. Blaine Holloway is a 3 skill player in his second season. That'll be a modest gain. He becomes a 4, gets a star, and he'll be in year number 3. He's going to get a new contract, so that'll be $5. Chris Freeman, who avoided retirement, comes back for 1 more year. The older of the Freeman brothers, he is a 6 skill player in his 4th season. And that's going to be no good. So a -1 is going to be a regression as he becomes a 5. Still a 2-star player, and he's going to retire as a Hall of Famer. And he'll get a new contract, so it'll be $7 that they'll have to pay him, which is what they were paying him before. So they've gotten a really good a deal on him. His last contract was $7 as well, but they were getting $8 worth of player out of him. Mason Freeman, the younger brother, plays shortstop. That's 2 brothers on the left side. Freeman is going to be a 5. Mason Freeman is a 7 in his second year. 5 makes him a +2, so he becomes a super duper star. And at just the right time as well, as he's going to get paid. Highest paid player in the league at this point is Mason Freeman. Xavier Mitchell. Two-star player in his second year becomes a 5-star player in his third year. Or not 5 stars, but 5 skill. He'll get paid. This team is loaded. Kelly Jennings. Jennings, two skill player in his first year. 2 becomes a 3, so he goes up to a 3. And he will be just $2 in his second season. Brings up Tyler Crane. Crane, a 2-skill player in his second season. He is going to remain that going into his third. He'll cost a little bit more. And Jake Brewer, now we get to him. Jake the Snake. I was going to put Snake. Jake Brewer. He is a rookie pitcher. Are we going to have our first breakthrough at the pitching spot? Our first superstar. We do. Bow, 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 bow. So he becomes a +3, and he is going to turn into a legit ace in year 2. He is only going to cost them $1 as they get him on year 2. Sorry. Wow, that is, I think that's going to be what puts them over the top, as they have been the runner-up for 2 years in a row. This might be their year, as they get huge gains from Mason Freeman, Xavier Mitchell, and Jake Brewer, and even Malik Thompson, as they have filled the stat sheet with stars. So things looking way up for Mariners Bay. And let's look at their minor league system. Josh Foster, second-year player, but 1 skill. 4 is going to be a +1, so 2 and 3. He'll get paid $2. Next is Nolan Delgado. They have a spot for him if he can make a play here, if he can get better. He's a 2 skill in his second year, and he does not get any better. In fact, he regresses, and that is a huge disappointment for them, as they were looking to fill the catcher spot there. Better just to throw a rookie in there than to have this guy. So Clark Vaughn, or maybe we'll flip Clark Vaughn. It was suggested that maybe some special things exist, like a -1 to the roll to see if he gets flipped, or a -2 or something like that. So Clark Vaughn, a 4-level player, 4-skill player in his second year. A 3 is going to make him a 5. And that is going into the third year. And I think he's just someone that we can't ignore anymore. So 2 here. He's going to have to get paid or cut loose. Flavio Contreras. Flavio is a starting pitcher. Let's see. They already have a good one in Jake Brewer, but Flavio comes through in the clutch and gets way better. He'll be a 4-skill player in his second season. This is such a good deal. There's no need to let Jake Brewer go for a younger player. So they just have an abundance. They're only getting him for $1, and he is a 4-star player. So the rich get richer here. And Aiden Davidson. Aiden Davidson, a rookie. This is the final player to do development, and he has 2. 2 is no change as he goes into year 2. Exactly as he was in year 1. All right, so that is all of our players. You can see here, Mariners Bay is loaded. Rockview definitely got a couple of stars in their pipeline. Same thing over here for Crestline. And then Meadowview looking pretty good, actually, looking a lot better than they were in the previous year. I can see a lot of improvement across all of these teams. So what we need to do next is, and you can simply follow the off-season progression here. So we've done player development. Now we need to cut players. So we need to decide who is going to go into the free agent pool And we do that by sort of looking at who they're going to call up. So we have a first baseman here, and we have a first baseman here, and that seems like a no-brainer, as David Lugo is a 3-skill player in just his second year. The only real dud here is our right fielder. We have a right fielder, Blaine Hayes, getting paid the same amount, but he is actually a better skill. So this guy is on the cut list, and we'll bring Blaine Hayes up to play in right field. Just no progression here from Felipe Carvajal from year 1 to year 2. Not saying he wouldn't, but you bring up just a better player. You do have to pay him a little bit more, but you're going to get more out of him as well. So we'll do that. And then we have a couple of star players here. And no real place. I guess we got Maddox here. Max Maddox. We have a 2-star shortstop. So I think we can cut Maddox, let him go. We're going to pay this guy just $2. We're going to get 5 out of it. Next season, we're going to have to pay, but we're going to be losing at least 1 star player, possibly 2. So we're going to need to replace some of our stars for sure. We got a left fielder here. Hunter Clark is an amazing player, one of the top paid players in the league. And so Rufino Mascareñas, I think is how you say it. He is just going to have to go into the ether. I don't have the trading set up. Otherwise, we'd trade him for something. So I think that's how that's going to work there. So we got 1 open spot that's going to be taken in the major league roster. We got 2 guys that are going to get cut. This guy here is shortstop, but they're going to fill those spaces with minor leaguers, so we'll have some open spots down here. Actually, we don't have to get rid of Mascareñas, because he's just in the second year. This guy here was one we'd have to get rid of. We can keep our minor leaguers in the system for 2 years before we have to make a decision on them. You can see a couple over here. So let's go to Rockview. Rockview has 1 opening in left field, possibility in right field, possibility at pitcher, possibility at third base, I guess, as well, and possibility at catcher. So we got a lot of maybes. We got to make some decisions here. We got a shortstop. There's no doubt about Victor De La Fuente. Malik Fields, we can either try to flip him to become a third baseman, or we can try to flip Victor De La Fuente. De La Fuente is going to stay a star probably, unless something disastrous happens with the role. So we'll flip him over to a third baseman, since we don't have one of those in the pipeline. And we've got a center fielder here that we're going to flip over to a left fielder. We have a right fielder here, but he's no good, really. And we have a catcher, but I mean, is it worth it? You're going to lose some skill if we replace Omar Alcaraz. If we just keep him in here, he'll still develop, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so we're going to make that decision. So no cuts there. Meadowview. And maybe you would handle these teams differently. You can leave a comment down in the comment section if you think you would have handled things a little bit differently. I'm just looking at it for the first time, kind of on the fly, not really like taking a moment to think about it, but just what can we do? We have a pitcher here. We can slot him in. He is a 2-skill pitcher. We got to do something with him or lose him. Clark Hayes, he's just going to go into the ether, and we'll have to replace that spot. We have a 5-skill second baseman. He is definitely better than Elijah Brooks. So we can make that cut. And again, all these guys who are cut go out into the free agent pool, and they can become free agents that other teams can sign. Nolan Glass, not doing anything with him, so let's just do Elijah Brooks would be replaced. Left field, we got a couple of young guys here. Zach Cruz, we're not going to do anything with him, but Mason Barnes, a 3-level player in left. It's possible these guys could become a better left fielder. Maybe we can take a chance on one of these. We'll use the corner outfielder. So we'll flip to left field. That was somebody else we had to try to flip, right? This guy. And Victor De La Fuente to third base. So we got a couple. We'll do that in just a minute. And we don't have to lose this guy. We can. Who do we have there? Blaine Hayes. You know what? Instead of Blaine Hayes, let's flip this guy to right field. That would be a better use of our resources. Okay, so we got a flip here. And bringing up a starting pitcher. Bringing up a second baseman. Don't need to replace center field. Okay. But you definitely could. You could go with Jose Manuel Barreto over Jordan Daniels. Daniels are going to have to pay him. So he's getting 5. You're getting a more skill level, but you're having to pay more. Meadowview is, they're going to be cost conscious. They're already at a minus 50. So they need to bring somebody up who's going to give them some production while cutting because they had to pay him now. So they don't want to have to pay him. They're going to 3 skill player, which is less, but he's only going to be on a $1 contract. So they're playing a little bit like the Oakland A's. And the Mariners Bay Thunderhawks have a catcher position open. It would be better to put a rookie in there because at worst you're going to 1 skill player with 1 on his age, and he'll have a better chance of progressing to the next season. So you're not going to, and it'll only cost you the same amount of money. So, this is a no-go with Nolan Delgado. It'd be better to put a rookie there. Anybody else that needs to be cut? Tyler Crane is a possible candidate. He's probably fine. You're not really getting anything bad there. We have Clark Vaughn, who's a shortstop. He could possibly replace Blaine Holloway. Mariners Bay doesn't really have to worry about money. And Clark Vaughn is just going to go away. He's in the 3rd year. Blaine Holloway is in the 3rd year. You'll get more bang for your buck, I guess, having Blaine Holloway. Yeah, I'm sorry, Clark Vaughn. He's just going to go away. If we had a trading system, we could trade him, to one of these other teams who needs a shortstop, which I don't know. They could use a shortstop, I guess. Nobody really needs one. And right field, we don't have anybody we can flip over to a right fielder. Jake Brewer's here, Flavio Contreras. They both cost the same amount of money. There's no real need to, unless you just want Flavio's name in there. We can keep him around for another year, but these 2 guys we had to make a decision on. Third base, definitely not going to do that. He's 1 year too late at third base. Otherwise, he could have replaced Freeman, and Freeman had retired, but he decided to come back, so he's going to be at third base. So I think that's where we are right now. So let's go ahead and fill out our free agents list. All right, we have our free agents here. First man up is going to be Max Maddox. He is a shortstop. His new contract is 3 skill, 3 age, $3, and he's a pretty good pickup for somebody. Felipe Carvajal. Carvajal, a right fielder. 1, 2, and he's in the second year of a contract. Next up is Elijah Brooks. $3 for Elijah Brooks. Very good A. And Jordan Daniels is a center fielder. Daniels is a 4, 3. So that's definitely a star out there who is available, Jordan Daniels, for somebody. And those are all of our cut players. So that's who is out there for free agency. Yeah, I'm still thinking about free agency. Like, should we carry over some of these players? And then maybe they regress one on their skill level because they go up in age. And then this guy, he's on the second year of his contract, so he would just sort of go out. But you would get these guys who are on the first year of their contract, or do you just do it completely new every year? Do I fill in all the spots? I've typically been going through and filling in at least one player at each position with the player generator. Get that. So this being the Diamond Dynasty player generator, so that we generate a new catcher. So we have a 5-star catcher. His name is Jorge Luis Zapata. 5. He's in his final year. First year of a contract. He's in his final season. We get a 2-star first baseman. Echeverria, 2 stars. He's a rookie. We need Willard Torres at, oh, should have done him there, but at third base. So 5, again, a guy at the end of his career. You could pick up for 1 year. Fill in a third base spot, left fielder, Logan Rhodes. And let's do a starting pitcher. Oh, Peter Hart. So 4, 4, 5. And he'll be here. All right, so these are our potential free agents that people can get into, and still really just trying to like walk through the free agency process and how that works. But basically for the free agents, what we want to do is we're going to start with the worst team first, and they get to choose. Actually, let's do our draft first. That's what needs to come next, is the draft. The draft works pretty easily. We need to... Actually, I'll do the draft next, because that's going to require me to go through and fill out each team's new sheet. So basically what I'll be doing next is I'll be taking this blank sheet, and I'll be taking our off-season worksheet, and I'll be transferring all of the players onto the correct team sheet. So for Crestline, you'll pull Jordan Harper over. You'll insert David Lugo, which we already decided he's going to go into first base. Alex Talbot, Zach Johnson. So I'm going to move all these players over. We won't have any holes in the major league lineup, but we'll have some holes down here in the minor leagues that'll need to be filled. So Crestline is sort of set themselves what they want to do. But now that we have the free agents, they have to kind of look and see. We have a 2 here. David Lugo's a 3. There's a space at catcher. They already have an amazing catcher. There's a possibility at third base. They have Zach Johnson, who is already a big-time player at third base, who's younger. They have an opportunity at their starting pitcher. We got a young guy there. So, they kind of look through and say, are the cuts that we made the only ones that we want to make? Do we want to look at the free agency list and say, okay, like what kind of cuts do we want to make still? They could add to the free agency list. And then once we get into the draft, everything is sort of set once I get everything onto these cards. You could do in your off-season progression, you're cutting players to go into the free agency pool. You can look and see if there are more players, that you want to cut based off of the free agents. But you have to realize if you're a better team, you may not be able to get that. So let's say Mariners Bay wants to go for a second baseman, but Rockview needs a second baseman as well. And they may be a star, but if Rockview has an opening at second base, they're probably going to bring in a free agent. But if Rockview only has one open spot, then that's going to be filled with a rookie, and Mariners Bay has 4 open spots. 2 of those will be filled by a rookie, and 2 can be filled by a free agent. So you just really have to kind of look around and see, is there competition for the player that you would want to bring in, a center fielder, for instance, and in that, realizing that the better teams are going to choose their free agents first and fill their team with free agents first. Are they going to pick up all the free agents? They have to fit it in their budget, if there's a budget, and then they also have to, some teams are going to be looking to fill their team with more stars because the owner is going to give them more bonus if they have more stars. So there's lots of different moving parts in this game, and when you're playing it with the owners, there's really a lot more strategy than just doing it this way, where you're kind of like freelancing and sandboxing and putting teams together, and it doesn't matter if they lose money and that kind of stuff. So you're kind of getting your feet wet with that, but then adding the owners in adds a constriction to the team process that's going to affect all of the other teams. So kind of cool the way that happens, and maybe in year 3, I will draft some owners, and then we can like really look through the ownership process and see how we can move through that. All right, kind of a longish video, but that takes you through almost all of the off-season process and a lot of talking on top of that. But teams are moving along. The next thing is to do the draft and free agency, and then we'll be set up for season number 3. All right, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section. If you like this game, just give it a thumbs up, or if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to know more, you can email me at clarkandaddisongaming@gmail.com. I have sent this out to a couple of people to test. I don't want to it's kind of oversaturate that, because there won't be more seasons. This is going to be the game. So I don't want to oversaturate the play testing, but yeah. So that's kind of where that is. And I need to begin to put this into a book format of some sort. And then you'll have some printables like the free agents and stuff like that, where you'll be able to print those out. And even if you buy the book, you'll have all of the files to print out if you want to do that. But many of them, like this sheet here, that could just go straight into a book. The instructions can go straight into a book. This off-season progression chart can go into a book. This chart here for creating players and teams can go into a book. This one, how to play a game, can go into a book. So you can see a lot of this stuff could really go into a small booklet, and you would kind of have that to play. The scheduling could go into a book, but really, some of these worksheets and things like this that you need to print out for each season, obviously the team sheets here, those would be things you need to print out, and so would the these. You could do them front and back, right? So if you had a longer season, you could do those front and back. So that these would be sort of your printables, and these would be the things that go into the book. And you would have kind of a mix and match of things you need to print out each season, and then also things that would go into a book. So you could also just print out the entire thing, put it into your own binder if you wanted to, and then you keep all the seasons in there as well. So this is Diamond Dynasty, a career mode baseball game, and it allows you to create 4, 6, or 8 teams at this point. Someone sent along a schedule for more than that, so 10, 12, 16 teams. I would think you would want to start out with 4, and maybe you want to build to 16. 16 would be a lot and kind of overwhelming, but definitely possible. I mean, AI could help you fill out a team pretty quickly with, you just need the name, position, and you need their skill level to start out with, their year that they're in. And then from there, you figure out their stars and their contract and stuff like that. So really, you just need their skill level, 1 to 6, and you need their age. And you could even, AI would put a whole team together for you based off of like kind of what you're looking for. If you tell it a mix of veterans and rookies, or if you're like, I want to focus on this team being very young, that kind of stuff. It would do that kind of stuff for you. Or you can just tell it to randomly roll a D6. Here's all the positions. Randomly roll a D6 for this and this, and it would do that for you, and it would give you all the names. So lots of different ways to go with this. I've created, obviously, the name generator that you could use. You can use that for rookies. You can see that there are different types of rookies. So every time it goes out and gets you a name, here you get different kinds of ages and skill levels. It doesn't come up as a star every time, but it does every once in a while. You get a star. So whether you're filling out your team for the first time, or you're filling out the free agents list, or whatever you're doing with the names, those are good to go with the name generator. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click on subscribe. The advantage of that is you get notified of new videos when they are posted. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I guess that's an easy way to support what I'm doing here. You can also go to clarkandaddisongaming.com and you can pick up any of the available seasons for football, basketball, or baseball that we already have that are available to purchase. And I just released the 2024 season set for Play Action Football. If you haven't checked out Play Action Football, you can find more videos about that here. Jason Flash Football, if you're familiar with his YouTube channel, did a really good review, and very happy about his review of the game. He really liked it. And so you can listen to his critique of the game. He's a big time, he's coached football in the past, he said, and he plays a lot of football games, including APA and Strat and some of the bigger ones. And so he walks through the game and what he likes about it and what he really appreciates about Play Action Football. He's got several games, and he's the best advertisement I have. Him playing Play Action Football is awesome. So you can go pick that up. That's the latest season, 2024 NFL, and so you can get that at clarkandaddisongaming.com. I've been invited to take part in sort of a pre-NFL season chat with Jeff Giordano, who's with the APA Football Club, if you're familiar with that YouTube channel as well. And just to talk about lots of different game designers talking about their football games and kind of getting that out there to everyone as well. So big thanks to him. Jeff does a great job. They just had a big event at the Pro Football Hall of Fame that they do every year, and I wish I could get out there to it. It's a little far for me to just kind of take a quick trip. Here in Chicago, it's it's probably 8 or 10 hours to get out there, which is a little bit far for me right when school is starting. Maybe at some point in my life I can get out there and take part in that, but very thankful to Jeff and the work that he does in the community. He's been really good, a really good ambassador, wonderful at articulating the benefits of gaming and bringing people together, and that's really what the hobby needs. They need more people to kind of help to shepherd and bring people together so that they're learning more about the fullness of all the games that are out there. Most of the things online are just about APA or Strat, and kind of is everyone's default, but doesn't always have to be that way. There's lots of terrific games out there, not even games that are new like mine, but games that have been out there for a while. So we need more ambassadors, more people playing more games, more variety of games on YouTube. Most people don't trust me because I'm the one who made it. So they'll trust someone who is playing it a lot more than the person who made it. So that it's always helpful when somebody else is saying something good about what you've done, because now it's translated to another person as opposed to you just think it's great. So it's very helpful when other people are playing your games. So totally appreciative of, especially Jason, as he played several of the 1991 season games. So go out and check those out, clarkandaddisongaming.com. If you have any questions about anything, you have problems making an order, you just want to shoot the breeze, whatever it is, you can send me an email to clarkandaddisongaming@gmail.com, and be happy to get back to you, usually within a few hours, but sometimes it takes a day or two. Depends on how life is treating at the moment. But this game is not quite yet ready for prime time, but it's getting close. We're really bringing everything all together. I created the new kind of off-season worksheet, which replaced the old notebook piece of paper that I was doing, and that's usually how things work. So you kind of create a quick and dirty little way, and then can you codify it a little bit so that everybody just has the pieces they need to be able to make a new season, to go through the season and do what they need. All right. I think that's it from here. Thanks for sticking around, an hour and a half. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it, but that was kind of a slow move through the off season. You can see why I don't show that all the time. The scratch work and the, showing your work and all that kind of stuff. Usually it's like, okay, I did all this and then here's where we are, which makes the videos quite a bit shorter. But you saw all the work that goes into the off season. It doesn't have to take that long, but I find that to be as a GM type game, that is the most enjoyable part of the game for me, is to see how the rosters, excuse me, how they shift, how they move, what decisions does the team have to make, and putting those ownership restrictions on the team makes you have to think even more like, do we need to let this star go even though he's a star, because we just can't afford to pay him because we got to stay under our budget or whatever. So a lot of interesting choices to make, and things that people can do within the game. All right, I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.